What up, though, to all my paper chasers? This is your girl, Loud Pen, coming to you from the loudest pen ever with this week's What is the Proper Response? I'm asking this week, what is the proper response to Tyler Perry? I'm sorry, but I love Tyler Perry. I think he's wonderful. I love all his movies, everything that he does, everything that he touches on. I just feel like it's real talk, and I just love it. And just last night, I was watching I Can Do Bad All By Myself, and it just crossed my mind how many people have just said a lot of negative things about Tyler Perry, talking about a lot of coonery and buffoonery in his movies. He's also been accused of having the same plot lines, one-dimensional characters, people that can't act in his films. Yeah, he's been accused of all the above. So basically, let me just try to go back to that list I just named off, because I just named that off over my head. Let's talk about Coonery Buffoonery. Those are the first things that I named off. As far as Coonery Buffoonery, I guess the examples that you would use and that I have seen and heard used of is Mr. Brown and, of course, Madea, claiming that there's some type of buffoonery and tomfoolery, and basically they just kind of doing some kind of little shucking and jive dance, and it makes black people look bad, and it makes us not look as intelligent, and it makes us just look like we're just these funny type of characters or whatever that don't really have any seriousness to us. As far as Mr. Brown, let me go over Mr. Brown real quick, because I might be able to get him out quicker. As far as Mr. Brown, I don't feel like that's any type of coonery, just because I know several guys in my real life that act very similar to Mr. Brown, as far as the way that they dress, as far as the way that they talk, you know what I mean? Because like who Mr. Brown really is, yeah, he comes off as funny and as a comedic type of character, but there are real people like him, as I said, real men like him that exist, as far as like dressing tacky, you know, always praying to the Lord, but don't really, you know what I mean, like sometimes they get the prayers wrong, or they be playing at the wrong times, so it's like inappropriate, you know what I mean, just off the wall crazy kind of stuff. And that's just basically how Mr. Brown is. You know, he comes off that way, like, you know, he's just always OD, and he's always like, oh, I'm gonna pray for you, child, and it's just too much. But I know a lot of people like him that really exist. Deacons from my church back home, a couple of my uncles, some of my older male cousins, you know, they grew up in the South, and they grew up in the church, and they feel very, very strongly about God, and so they feel that need to kind of press that God and that Christianity off onto people at all times. And because, you know, they might have not grown up around, like, you know, places like New York or Chicago, like big urban type of cities that are very diverse and have a lot of things going on as far as the fashion sense. So with Mr. Brown, you know, some of those outfits that we find just atrocious and ridiculous, you know, those are his hot boy clothes, because that's what he knows, that's what he finds fashionable. You know what I mean? Like, fashion is not necessarily what you see in Vogue and what you see in Essence. Fashion is what you think looks good on you, and Mr. Brown feels like those outfits look good on him, so that's why those things come off as funny. That's why those things come off as comedic. As far as Madea, I don't know, like, I was on the phone with my best friend a few weeks ago, and it was funny because I was telling her, you know, the things but people say about Tyler Perry, and she, like me, is a diehard Tyler Perry fan, and she just got really upset, and she was like, you know, it makes me mad when people say stuff like that, you know, that Madea is just coonery, because it's like, you know, Eddie Murphy got up there and did movies like The Nutty Professor, and then The Nutty Professor 2, The Clumps, which are literally just movies, you know, for the most part about fat black people that really don't have anything to talk about but eating and farting, and everybody thought those movies were hilarious. But then when Tyler Perry puts on a dress, you know, oh my God, like he's destroying the black race, he's bringing us all down, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, you know what I mean? But like, if you go across the board, ask most black people, they will tell you that they find Eddie Murphy hilarious, which he is hilarious. And you know what I'm saying, I'm not hating on The Nutty Professor, I like those movies, but I'm saying, like, recognize it for what it is. Like, you know what I mean, like, at least when Tyler Perry does it, it's for positivity, and you know, people quote unquote mock that or whatever, but like, it is what it is, you know what I mean? There really are messages behind the Madea movies. You may not like the messages, you may feel that it's shoved down your throat, but it's a message behind it, you know what I mean? Like, when I watch Spike Lee movies, like, I know he's being deep, and like, you know, he has movies like Do the Right Thing and like School Days or whatever, but like in those movies, like, honestly, like, real talk, Spike Lee, his characters can be very one-dimensional in my opinion, or no-dimensional at all. Like, I'm sorry, but the main character that Spike Lee plays in School Days has absolutely no personality whatsoever. He's literally just an awkward black young man at a HBCU, and that seems to be his only trait. You know what I mean? Like, watching a movie like I Can Do Bad All By Myself is totally different. You know what I mean? Like, April was an alcoholic. The main character, April, was an alcoholic. Okay, so we know that. Why is April an alcoholic? Okay, so we learned throughout the film that she was abused by her mother's boyfriend as a child. We learned that her sister was addicted to crack, that she eventually died from crack. So we also know that April's boyfriend is a married man, so she's having an affair with a married man. So it's just all these different things and all these different elements that we see come out in the movie that make April so much more than just an alcoholic. Like, there's a reason why she's an alcoholic, but in School Days there really seems to be no reason for why Spike Lee's character is awkward and why he, you know, feels like he needs to join a fraternity. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so he's awkward, so he wants to join a fraternity, and that's kind of it. There's no real reason or explanation for why he's awkward. Like, does he like to read, and that's, you know, he's so smart that he can't communicate with women, or is he, you know, like, what's the thing? You know what I mean? Like, what's the background information? Background information is what makes it more than a one-dimensional character. Okay, so I just really got on a long tangent about Coonery Buffoonery. I didn't really get to talk about the other things. Okay. Also, too, as far as similar plot lines, let's talk about that. Similar plot lines, yes, I will give you similar plot lines. Very like, okay, woman has a problem, was abused, raped as a child, must overcome. Man comes in, helps the woman out. Happy ending, la 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 la. We're all happy. So I will give you that. However, because you know there's always the however. However, I kind of like that. You know what I mean? Honestly, real talk, I really do. The reason that I like that is because chicks like Jennifer Aniston, Cameron Diaz, oh my gosh, what is her name that I can't think of? The other chick that's in The Holiday. Kate Winslet. All these white actresses, you know, also too in Disney movies like Cinderella, Sleeping Beauty, all these white actresses have had their happy endings and their happy movies for as long as I can remember. You know what I mean? For as long as I can remember, there's always been a Little Mermaid, there's always been a Sleeping Beauty, there's always going to be a Cameron Diaz type of woman actress, there's always going to be a Jennifer Aniston type of actress. But how many Gabrielle Unions will there be in Daddy's Little Girls? How many Taraji P. Hensons will there be in I Can Do Bad All By Myself? You know, like, there's not a lot of that for us black girls out there, black women out there. You know what I mean? Like, why is it a bad thing? Why do you find it disgustingly bad for Tyler Perry to make somewhat, you know, yeah, they are repetitive, I said that, you know what I mean, repetitive movies about a black woman finding happiness? Why do you find that so appalling? Like, I really don't get it, like, seriously. Because in my opinion, we deserve that. Like, real talk, you know what I mean? Like, why does Kate Winslet get Jack Black, the nice guy, in The Holiday, and then Cameron Diaz simultaneously get Fine Jude Law in the same film? Like, why do they get they love, but I'm not supposed to get mine because I'm black? You know what I mean? Because that's unrealistic. Okay, all right, that's cool. If you feel, if that's your reality, that's your reality. I'm not gonna knock your reality. This video is about to cut off on me, y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop it, and I'm actually gonna keep recording because I still have things to say. And okay, so this is your girl Loud Pen. Keep watching.